This Alila is nothing short of a masterclass in high brand standards, solution-focused service, and incredible cuisine. Today we're going to take a full tour and explore why, so let's get into it. Welcome to Seminyak. If you'd like to know the exact nightly rate that I paid for my stay, or my next 5 videos in queue, please check out the description below. And if you're new here, hi there and welcome to the channel. My name is Kevin. I think that the world needs a bit more honest travel content these days, so I make airline trip reports, high-end hotel reviews, and cruise ship tours as well, all without invitation. I always film without the company's knowledge, and I self-fund my trips to be sure to get a true experience. Then, give you nothing more than my own personal, honest, unbiased opinion. Alila is the sublime combination of authentic connections, sustainable living, and awe-inspiring experiences that make space to think, breathe, and restore. That is what Alila says of themselves. Every hotel brand on Earth has similar lofty corporate sound bites. But it's rare when a brand, especially one owned by one of the big four, actually lives up to it. This Alila actually has 2 distinct parts to it. Technically, they're separate hotels. On the left, you can see the studios at Alila Seminyak, separated quite a bit from the main part of the hotel. I presume that these are more like residences, but each time I try to check, they're unavailable for booking. Continuing ahead, we come to the main lobby and reception area, and quite a grand space it is. It's open and airy and modern and sleek and stylish. But as I've come to expect from Alila's, it's also all of that and inviting and warm and comfortable. These are a whole bunch of words that rarely go together effectively. Upon arrival, check-in will be done in the central sunken lounge area, and you'll be offered some tea and a cold towel. Either draped in floor-to-ceiling greenery or open to Seminyak Beach in front, no matter where you look, there's a distinct natural connection in here. Details throughout the lobby and the hotel in general are honestly pristine. Every fixture is well kept, every surface is spotless. Opened in 2015, this 240-room property was designed by Guru Rankemka of Urban Arc and literally began winning awards even before it opened. The design of the hotel is said to be influenced by traditional Balinese residential compounds, which are a cluster of buildings centered around a central courtyard or temple. This hotel is a cluster of buildings interconnected by light and breezy open-air corridors and centered around an existing temple. I stress that. This temple was here before the hotel was built and the entire property was designed around it. Let's go exploring some of the pools on site. There are 3 of them. The first up being up a small flight of stairs just off of the lobby. It's funny, because as often does happen to me, in the last hour that I was here, the sun finally did come out. But this is one of those hotels that honestly, it looks good even on dreary days. In fact, there's something about it that almost fits dreary days even better. Not including the studios that I showed you earlier, this is one of 4 Alila properties on Bali. If you'd like to check out another one that I've reviewed, you can see my Alila Ubud review linked above and below. When Hyatt bought Alila in 2018, they brought Hyatt's tally of branded hotels on the island up to its current 7. Alright, let's head down to the ground level and check out the largest pool on property. On the right side is an event space, and in front of us we have the pool and the beach bar. Adrian Secha, the founder of Aman and Azarai Resorts, opened the Ubud property back in 1996 as the Chedi Ubud. The Alila brand was founded by Mark Adelson in 2001, and he went on to acquire the Ubud property. Beginning as an independent Indonesian-focused brand, Alila began to grow and spread its wings across the continent. Later bought out by Two Roads Hospitality, the then owner of Thompson Hotels, in 2014. 4 years later, Hyatt acquired Two Roads, and that is that. If ever there was a big brand acquisition that I really do think made sense, honestly, Hyatt buying Alila was the one. They complement each other really well. In total, there are currently 18 Alila hotels and resorts. Let's check out where we are. Bali is one of Indonesia's 18,110 islands, give or take, and is just off the east coast of the most populated island, Java. The fashionable town of Seminyak, where we are today, is in the south of Bali, just north of the largest city, Denpasar, where you'll find the airport as well. So, the head of the turtle, so to speak, are the studios, and the rest is the resort itself. And I'm just noticing that there are actually 4 pools, one on the roof on the left side. I honestly hadn't even noticed, something for next time. The hotel is smack in the middle of Seminyak's famous beach, and is also sandwiched in between the famous Potato Head Studios and Coup d'etat, which could be a bit of a blessing or a curse. I'll show you why in a bit. And now heading over to the third and not final pool. I do hope that you appreciate this clip, as it took me around 11 takes to get without guests walking past me. This is the pool that my room overlooks, and frankly, I think it's the nicest pool of the lot. Great views over the resort and out over the Indian Ocean. If you support the content that I've been putting out on the channel, or just honest travel content in general, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Those are the 2 easiest ways that you can tell YouTube that this video was worth your time. For anyone interested in supporting, my Patreon is also linked in the description below. Thanks very much for watching today. Alright, before we head to my room, let's go check out my lunch at SeaSalt. For the first time in 137 hotel reviews on this channel, I ate in the same restaurant 3 times because it was seriously that good. This was actually my lunch on the second day, since there were still quite a few things on the menu that I wanted to order from the night before. Even if it didn't have a great menu though, it's still a fantastic venue. I think it's rare when a restaurant strikes that delicate balance between a food venue and a living space, but SeaSalt has done it brilliantly. Meals start off with a few bites of cold compressed watermelon and basil, and some incredible sourdough bread. The menu has changed a bit, as they do. At the time, I had a pork katsu smothered in a Moorish sesame sauce, and then a delightfully fluffy house-made tofu with mushrooms, wakame, and nori. Finally, I finished that off with a dessert, which was frankly the entire reason why I came back for lunch, and I'm not a dessert person. It was coconut, lemon basil pudding, caramelized walnuts, and jackfruit sorbet. I will always order anything with jackfruit, and this one was superb. Alright, let's check out my room. The rooms are luxurious but understated. They've struck a very nice balance between a space that feels natural and neutral, but polished. Something that I've actually noticed every Alila does quite well. I mentioned this in my community post about the hotel, but I think Alila as a brand adopts their properties to their local surrounds better than just about anybody else. Of the hotel brands that do have their own distinct style of their own, Alila stands out to me as the one which marries their own aesthetic with local influences the best. And as always, there are a lot of small but thoughtful touches throughout the room, and I love all the woodwork and small wooden pieces. All of these wall panels are leather, or, well, leather-like material, with brass work overlaid on top. A very nice detail. The minibar is fully stocked with glass-bottled purified water, as well as Demon teas and Tanamera espresso pods. Of all of the non-Nespresso espresso pods that I've had at hotels, Tanamera ranked pretty high for me. By the way, if you're new to the channel, I've got a new playlist linked above and below, which has 15 or so videos which I think will give you a pretty good idea of what this channel's all about. Feel free to take a look and let it play on loop for around 12 hours. There were a few treats in the room when I checked in, but this was actually filmed in a different room, which I'll explain in a moment. First though, can we look at this handwriting? I don't think I've ever seen something by hand so perfect before. Next up, the bathroom, which is so thoughtfully stocked as well, with every bit and bob that you could possibly need, as well as an amenities menu for anything that isn't here already. The wet room was one of the highlights for me. Large, open rainfall shower, full-size soaking tub, and plenty of beautiful greenery. and there are multiple options for privacy of various degrees throughout the room. As we take a look at my balcony, I'll quickly explain the room situation. My first room was on the back of the resort, which in and of itself wasn't a problem. That's the view that I booked. The problem was that it was directly overlooking Potato Head Studios. And even with the balcony door closed, you could clearly hear the thumping of the house music playing like 50 meters away. Literally within 2 minutes of arriving in the room, I called to ask the front desk if they had a room that just wasn't overlooking the beach club. And after a quick couple of minutes, they let me know that a new room would be ready in 10 minutes. Here's what the other room sounded like. Keep in mind, the door's closed. If you're coming here, make sure you request a room that is far away from this. So yeah, this was handled really well. The new room was an upgrade, which is nice, but that's not the part that matters. I appreciate that the staff were just so efficient in dealing with this matter. Sometimes things in Bali are just a little laid back. If you want to see a great example, get some popcorn and watch my Jumeirah Bali review. But here, it was a clear guest-first mentality that drove everything all of the staff did. That was representative of service in general here, especially at SeaSalt, where the staff was attentive, knowledgeable, and just very pleasant to be around. Full marks for service here. So, who is staying here? It's a younger crowd, but not as young as you might be expecting, but in a good way. How do I say this? I'm at an age where I still love modern, sleek, and some would say cool hotels. But I also am at the age where I don't like all of the fuss that comes with said coolness these days. Maybe my tolerance for Instagrammability is waning, or maybe I'm just getting older. Either way, I reckon the majority of guests here, couples, singles, and families alike, are of a very similar mindset. Beach time. So, as with all beaches in Bali, it is a public beach, but the Alila is smack up to it, and on a really nice stretch. The resort has plenty of seating just at the beach line, the beach itself is very clean, and it just goes on and on for miles in each direction. So the other dining venue on site is Beach Bar, which is also a full-blown restaurant, and I appreciate how well integrated it is to the pool and beach area. If it wasn't for the fact that SeaSalt was so damn good, I probably would have had lunch here. As the sun begins to set, I want to point out one brilliant and beautiful design element in the lobby. The effect isn't quite as stunning on camera, especially when the sunset is not spectacular, but all of the columns are mirrored. So even when you're facing away from the beach, you're still getting the colors of the sunset reflected back to you. Okay, time for dinner. We started out with some of that same great crusty bread, but this time with a bit of an excavation on the side. Emerging from the black salt is a mackerel butter spread wrapped in seaweed and salt baked. It's one thing to be unique, but the fact that this butter was also out of this world made it really special. I'll show you the photos of each dish as well just to give you a better view. For starters, I had a tropical tuna tataki with skipjack, quinoa, and burnt orange. Then for the main, I went for the 72-hour Wagyu short ribs, which luckily for me were the last portion because it was to die for. At the time, it came with creamy mashed edamame. For dessert, tape. This was fermented glutinous rice, champagne gel, and miso ice cream. Honestly, if you gave me a big bowl of sticky rice with some of that miso ice cream and some jackfruit on top, you wouldn't get a video from me for like 8 months. The next morning, before heading to breakfast, let's take a quick look at the comprehensive fitness center. There's also, of course, a spa on site, but it was always fairly busy. This was honestly one of the nicer looking fitness centers that I've seen in a while. But enough of that, time for more SeaSalt. The buffet here was outstanding. There were a lot of local touches and multiple small plated dishes as well. It's nice when a resort that is meant to be sustainable actually knows how to use, cook, and dress vegetables. Too often these days, I see buffets with a bowl of musclin and shredded carrots, which someone is patting themselves on the back for. I love that they also leaned heavily into Indonesian sweets as well. As good as the buffet was though, I honestly gotta say, the a la carte menus that were on a separate short menu were not so fantastic. Was really surprised how mediocre both were. But the buffet, and the restaurant in general, are so good, I'll happily, mostly just look right past that. So, there's not really that much to conclude here. I loved it. I'm not really a Seminyak kind of guy, but I'd happily come back to this or any Alila on the island, frankly. I really do hope that you enjoyed this video today. If you did, please be sure to click that thumbs up button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming content. I'll see you next time at the Anantara Uluwatu. Oh, and thanks for watching until the end.